to give love away.
Hi, I'm Janet Stone, a Vinyasa yoga teacher based in San Francisco. And I've been practicing for many, many years. I don't know, 20 or so. And along this path, I really started doing a lot of backbends. And backbending was interesting to me. And I loved it. I loved how I felt. And I just kept saying backbend, backbend. And I'd look for a backbend and everything. Until one day, I realized, why am I bending my back backward? And I recognized while I was doing this, I was actually opening my heart. And then I spent years on heart opening. And I really saw when you actually open in this gesture, that my heart is more open. And so moving through the world after a backbend, at first I felt really vulnerable. And then I noticed it felt good to feel vulnerable. And I felt more connected to the people around me. And then after a while, a few years of that, I noticed the sides of my heart as well. And sometimes those would be congested. And so in my back bending, which then became a heart opening, I started to feel the sides of my heart, and those expanded out a little bit more. And so I went into these places that I hadn't visited in a while. Some of them carried some old hurt. Some of them carried some of this new potential and possibility. And each time I would go into Urdhva Dhanurasana or Setu Bandhasana or into Camel, into Ustrasana. So all these postures, these ways, or upward facing dog, where I get to feel the space around my heart, the front and the sides open. And then a couple years later, I realized what's happening at the back of my heart. And that's when I started to bring attention to the back of my heart and noticed there had been a little bit of holding. I'm also a mama, so I wrap around my babies a lot like this. They would not like me to call them babies, but now they're much bigger. After much breath and much contemplation and really just a few backbends, I got to feel opening all the spaces around my heart and the difference of just bending backwards or opening my heart and the way I felt after. Each time I had a new exploration and a new space to open around my heart, that the way that I communicated, the way that I related to those around me was much more from a place of truth, a place of openness, and a place of connection to my own heart. So now anytime there's an opportunity for backbending, I really recognize that it's opening my heart. And so I'm willing to go, even when it's a little scary. I'm willing to go, but I've also found that first I love to feel the deep reach down through my waist, down into the ground, and feel the nourishment of the earth to carry me into my heart. So once I have that stability in a sense, it feels like then I have the courage to go into my heart. But sometimes on my way up from the ground, I also really want to light a fire in my belly and keep that heat and that flame to lightly open up the space around my heart. So I wish you great adventures on taking the journey into your heart. And instead of backbending, maybe consider what it is to open the back, the sides, and the front of the heart center. Namaste. Om Namah Shivaya.